Hello, Darshana.
Hello, Rishi. Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to Pure Presence, the power of being free, with your host, Rishi, on Unity FM radio. And you hear the water in the background, and it just has this outdoor kind of a feeling on the radio show today. And I'm sitting here at Sahaja in an area called the Parvati Valley. Right? Parvati Valley? Parvati
Yes.
Valley. And I have this beautiful being named Darshana in front of me for this interview, for this radio show interview. And also we just are having this kind of joining. We're just really sitting here talking, and we don't know exactly where the radio show is going to go today because we don't have a script, and we want it to be fresh. And so I'm here for 2 weeks in Sahaja, doing some work on the land, the ashram, and we're just so grateful to be here. Right, Darshana?
Yes.
Yes. And on the show today, I'm going to just sort of invite you to just speak from your heart about Sahaja, about Guruji, and what Sahaja means to you. And what is this place called Sahaja, Manta Sahaja? What is this place for you, Darshana?
I would say it is, if you have come on this planet for freedom in this life, I feel this is the place. This is you're gonna find yourself here somehow if you're called in this life to discover your true nature. Then I don't know if there's another place on the planet at this point. I don't know, but I feel it is really the place where you stand the true chance to discover this freedom, which is Sahaja.
Yeah.
Sahaja is the name for this freedom, for this state of being. You're gonna find yourself here in Manta Sahaja.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it about Manta Sahaja that you think opens that space up? What do you feel? What is it about Sahaja that is that creates this space?
I mean, first of all, of course, Guruji.
Yes. Yes.
It is where Guruji lives. It's his home.
Yeah.
It is where he resides. It's that is in itself, of course, what makes this place so special. It is a living ashram. It has a living master.
Yes.
I don't know how many places, how many ashrams there are in the world where there is a living master alive today in the body.
Yes. Yes.
Where beings can come and really get to live with him also, no? To see him every day, to have that ongoing energy field also, no? We are in bathing in his energy field even while we are sleeping. They say that even if you are merely in the energy field of a Buddha, even merely being in that energy field, it already takes care of so much. You only have to be tuned in or to be receptive open,
Yeah.
and automatically something takes place.
Yeah. Yes. And if you can see the presence and the expression for our listeners on Darshana's face, you see this illumination, you see this light. I have always seen it when I see you, and many speak of this, and many have this light presence that this experience brings. And it's like you said, Guruji set the space and the presence for the beings to now enter in to Sahaja and incubate.
Yes.
Just bathe in it, breathe it, experience it as a setting for self-realization.
Yes. Yes. And to really, because as Guruji often says, it takes some time for the beingness, to somehow again reacquire a certain just to sense itself again, no?
Yes.
And sometimes for a while, if you're lucky, you're being put into a place like Sahaja where you're away from distractions and the normal noise and a lot of chit chat.
Yeah.
And you just begin to, you get that time off, from everything, and you can really fully focus just on what Guruji really is pointing to, and because nothing else is really offered here, no? In what the Sahaja, their freedom is the only subject. There's no other subject here, and so we really have that chance to be fully supported. Everything here supports that recognition of our natural state.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's like built for it. No?
Yes. And we watched it. We were talking before we started the show that we've been, I came here late 2011 the first time to the land and Sahaja, and since then, I don't have any idea, but I know thousands of trees have been planted.
Yes.
And many spaces like the one we're sitting in front of are available for beings to come to have quiet contemplation. And in this place, it's made for beings to realize the self.
Yes.
But by being still, from being quiet.
Yeah, so it is already a very quiet place, and you're not really engaged too much into any kind of conversation, and so that external silence already supports you to really drop even deeper into a real silence, no? Into a real silence that is always here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the balance that I have experienced at Sahaja. I watched years ago when I first came. There was talking during mealtime, and there was no guidelines for being quiet and not socializing. And some may think that not socializing is like a rule or something, but it brings a environment so that we can to stop the mind from being distracted.
Exactly.
Or distracting, keeping you from being able to contemplate.
Yeah.
And even though I enjoy this friendship that we have,
Yes.
I also know that it sort of, you can feel and see when a being just wants to contemplate, and you allow the space for that here.
Yeah, and I mean, always what is really being, it is any kind of restriction, what seems as though it is a restriction, is only really to the mind, it feels like. It can
Yes.
feel like this initially. A lot
Yes.
of people have difficulties being in Monte Sahadra. They feel restricted. There's no, no one is really interested so much in what you've got to say about yesterday and tomorrow and where you're from and all these things. Initially, you may find that a little bit challenging. But then eventually you come to see the freedom of that, and that it allows you to connect much, much deeper, much, much more intimately. And sometimes we need that. We really need these, initially, these rules, you may say,
Yeah.
while we are not as yet able to be so strict with our own selves also. So the master, the guru, he knows. He really knows what he's doing here. He knows what you need. He knows what is most beneficial, not to the mind, but to you,
Yes.
really.
Yes.
And so what often can be challenging for the mind is exactly what you as a self need. And so your mind is the one who is going to find it difficult here.
Yeah.
But like Moody often says, he says, Monte Sahadra is hell for the ego and heaven for a saint.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and you really come to appreciate all these what you thought were restrictions. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do come to appreciate all of this so much eventually that
Yeah.
it allowed you to just find a whole nother realm within yourself that you did not really know
Yes.
existed, and we have to support each other here, no?
Yeah.
Because very often we are addressed as who we are not in most places. We get and here really who you are is being addressed non-stop all the time, and so that really gets to flower,
Yeah.
and who you are not gets to die.
Dissolve. Gets to die. Yes.
Yeah, if you know what
Yes.
I'm trying to say.
Of course
yeah,
I do.
It's really, I would say, the best place on the planet is Monte Sahadra.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And it's really, in my experience, if I didn't see it, it would be hard to really believe it.
Yes.
But when you have the experience, it's a living, it's like you said when we first started the show, this is a living experience.
Yes.
This is a living experience of finding the self that you didn't know you are. Right?
Yes.
And when you find that self, it is so alive. And realizing that it's you, that this is what I am. It's self-encompassing. It's self-evolving. It's self-expressing, and to have an experience where everyone is that aspect of you. You are me,
Yes.
and we are one, and we're all of this. What we thought was perception is the self.
And you're constantly being reminded here, no?
Yes.
Constantly of who you truly are, and that itself always keeps you also in a higher place, no?
Yeah.
That we are getting such high food
Yes.
all the time, and we are in such high company,
Yeah.
and you automatically you become who you are with, in a way, or you sometimes Moody says what you love you become. you know?
Yeah.
And so automatically, gradually, you just go back into who you really were, but from the beginning. But yeah.
We were talking earlier before the show, and maybe it was last night. I don't remember, but we were talking about being quiet. We were talking about not talking, and of course, this is a setup show, a radio show, for the listeners of Unity Online Radio, and we're bringing this show and this talk, this content, to other beings so that they could have maybe a listening taste or video. If we have a video, they have a listening taste of the experience of two beings. That's the Haja, Rishi and Darshana. And what you were saying last night is that when you asked Guruji if he was okay with our having this dialogue, because you thought you were supposed to be quiet, and you wanted to make sure that, and I don't mean supposed to be by a rule, but supposed to be as a practice, as a quieting of the mind. And I understand that. I agree with it. It was. I really liked what you described as how things kind of switched. Where at first you were very active in the mind, very active talking, and you learned to be quiet. Can you talk about that? What was that experience like, going from the mind always active and into this quiet space that has really brought you so much joy?
It's more that when it comes to speaking about your experience and about the self and about truth, it is more to Mooji often encourages us to first really dive into yourself, no? Really dive in. Don't be too quick to share. Don't be too quick to go out. And just to really, he himself did that for years, no? After also after meeting Papaji, he spent a lot of time just in silence before sharing. And so I just why I checked in was that because of that.
Yeah. Well, he's our teacher. He's our master, our guru. Yeah. And he represents, in my mind, he is an embodiment of the Christ, of the Christ consciousness. This is Mooji. This is the Mooji, the Guruji, that the world sees on live streaming at Rishikesh or the satsangs that are offered live. This being is the real thing, and he is a living demonstration of what I see available for myself, and I see myself being pulled into that awareness.
Yes.
I see myself changing into that. Less of the person, more of the awareness.
Yes.
More, and and what goes with that is the experience that the quietness brings.
Yeah.
I like what you just described as going deeply inward. That deeply inward is kind of I would say for me it's like just noticing. It's just not, and I also like what you just said, don't be so quick to have to say something. You don't be so quick to just...
Yeah, you want to make sure you're properly cooked.
Yeah.
You know, there often Mooji speaks about that there may be a time when there are teachers like yoga teachers.
Do what?
Sometimes he says there may be teachers out there And
Oh, like yoga teachers.
like yoga teachers, many, and sharing and speaking, and I know that he very much with us. He wants to. It is only out of his. He's just the best guru and wants to protect us and make sure that we have first completely accomplished this freedom within our own self.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Completely before we even think about sharing or instructing others. First secure that yourself, no? Really be fully centered in it and then go. Then of course, if that is your destiny.
Yeah.
But just he's always told us, don't be too quick. And so when you asked me, would you be happy to do an interview, then I just wanted to check in with him first.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've asked that for each of the interviews. Each of the beings that I've interviewed on the show, I've asked for his agreement, approval, so that because I honor him as the teacher, as the master, and as also the one who will guide me in what would be best for
Exactly.
each one, and for myself. Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. I love and I also really want to say thank you, Guruji, for letting me air this dialogue with you, Darshana, and the others. I want to thank Guruji for having the insight to know that this might be helpful. Maybe this will be helpful for others to listen. And the environment here at Sahaja is amazing. And I just want to say that for anyone that's listening, that if you watch Mooji on YouTube and you like, and something resonates with you, and you hear this conversation with us, something speaks to you, I would say come to Sahaja. Go to the website, mooji.org, and find out how you can come to Sahaja and find yourself. Yes? Yeah. So, Darshana, how long have you been with Mooji?
Since around 2011.
2011.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when I first met him in Tiruvannamalai.
Okay.
Yes.
You were already in India?
Actually, no, I was in Australia at that point.
Okay.
And I was really looking for a master. And I had read so many different books, and I had read many books, but I had never met the living truth. And so I looked on the internet, where on this planet would it be most likely? And somehow I was guided to Tiruvannamalai simply as a place where many people come from all over the world, many masters. And I was reading about Ramana Maharshi also, and deeply attracted to him and his teachings as well. And just before I went, I also watched a Mooji YouTube. I came across him, but I did not know he would be in Tiruvannamalai. And I had just checked into my place, put my bag down, and I was walking out of the hotel, out of the little guest house. And the very first being that came towards me on a motorbike, was Mooji. And so it was, I felt to just drop myself right there. And I did. I really did. I met him, and from that moment I knew already something had changed. Something had changed. By just meeting him. Simply by meeting him. And I knew immediately I was in the presence of what I was reading about in books.
Yes.
I was in the presence of something imperishable, no? Like, you know, you're in the presence of the living truth. And I was just, from that moment on, I had nothing else in mind. Nothing, it was like everything, nothing was interesting to me anymore. The only thing on my mind was Guruji.
Did you go to satsangs?
Then only for 10 days initially, but it had moved me so much that when I went back to Australia, I could not think about anything else but about him. Like, I appeared to look around, but actually I was only looking at Guruji, really, inside myself.
Yes.
And thinking about him and what he had been sharing, and it had moved me already so much that I had to be with him. I just wanted to be living with him, actually. And I expressed that. So the following year I went again to Tiruvannamalai, and I said, I had heard about this ashram Monte Sahaja, and can I come? That's what I said, can I come? And he said, yes, you come. And I was initially only going to come for 6 weeks, and I'm still here. I've been out just sometimes, but most of the time I've really been living with him. And yeah, just
That was 2012.
2012 I came here, yeah.
Yeah. And you were on you got on one of the teams?
Yeah, in the beginning we didn't have so many teams. It was only a very small group. But what I did was, when he was sharing satsang, I was always making notes for my own self in the beginning. I was just writing down little excerpts of what he was speaking. And then it grew and grew, and one day I showed him. And we somehow had this idea to also share those little sayings that I was editing. And I also had been starting to take pictures, you know, his pictures mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And then that somehow became what I was doing here mostly. Writing down his teachings and taking photographs, and then we began doing Facebook.
Yeah.
And after satsang, often I put a little excerpt and a little picture from just that satsang and send it out on Facebook, and yeah, it went from there.
It turned into
into my little seva
into what
here.
you do, your new vocation.
Yeah, but I did not know I was going to be doing this at all. Yeah. Even the camera he put into my hand and said, "You take pictures," and I didn't even know I was going to be doing this. But
nice.
Yeah, sometimes you just come here and you think you'll be doing something, but you are doing something completely different. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with whatever happens.
Yes. It's always perfect.
Yes. Yeah. I have the same experience no matter what I'm doing. I feel totally, I'm here in service. I'm so grateful to be here, to be helping to do things, but also just to be in the and there's nothing like it's so beautiful. I want to say magical. It's not even magical. It's so mystical and so inspiring. Even when Mooji comes by to see what you're doing, or he's just passing by and he gives you a wave, it's like it makes changes your whole day. Like changes like you feel like somebody just filled you up with something, right?
Yes, and it is true.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a really good time to take a station break. This is Unity Online Radio.
Okay.
The show is Pure Presence, and your host is Rishi. And my guest is Darshana, and oh my God, isn't this wonderful? She's such a great guest, and this show is so amazing and so beautiful. I'm just grateful that Mooji inspired me to have this show. It happened. It wasn't him speaking it, but I was inspired when I left here last year. I really would love to have an expression of what happens at Sahaja. So we'll talk more about this after the break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Rishi with Pure Presence, the Power of Being Free, and we'll continue our talk with Darshana at Sahaja. And wow, the first half was really inspiring to me, and I'm the host. Having fun. Are you having fun?
Yes.
Yes. So you came to Sahaja in 2012.
Yes.
And what is your typical day like? I'm on the construction team, and I know what I'm going to be doing. After breakfast, I have a meeting at 8 o'clock, and we Om in, and then we have a brief, we have a beautiful time of silence. We do the Oms, and I love the way we started this show with Oms. That was just happened. It was beautiful. I would like for our listeners to have been part of that, but it just happened spontaneously, and that's one of the gifts that you notice here at Sahaja, that you live spontaneously. You live in a very free state of mind, in a very free space, and I love how the project managers all do that. The leaders, Guruji is that way. It's like time isn't in charge here.
No.
You know what I mean? And so we have a given schedule. At least on the construction team, we have a given schedule or what we think we're going to do, but that's always subject to change.
It's always subject to change. There's flexibility, no?
Yeah.
Like, of course, we meet in the morning as the photography team now.
Yeah.
We meet in the morning, and we and we discuss what may be likely to be happening throughout the day.
Yeah.
To keep an eye maybe on a building that is being made, or on a satsang that may take place. But generally we are also open and just we are around with our cameras most of the day.
Yes.
Or we are editing, or
yes.
And also when Guruji gives satsangs, then afterwards I'll be transcribing quotes and just like these kind of things I'm doing most of my time.
Yes. So are you a transcriber for his talks, for his satsangs? Or you just do you take notes or do you transcribe?
Mostly, I'm listening to the whole talk.
Yes.
And then I will listen particularly for shorter bits to post on Facebook.
Yes. And is that one of your functions? You're on the team. You're the one, because I love your photographs. I just love your quotes that go with your photographs on the Mooji Sangha Facebook page. Yes. And that's yours? I mean, that's what you do.
Yes. It's Guruji's page, no, that we take care of.
Yeah.
And it's really a beautiful medium to widen simply the net that he throws out every day.
Yes.
To catch his fish, no?
Yes. Yes.
So it is still such a small place here, Monte Sahaja, and not many beings can come. So Facebook and YouTube are beautiful ways for people who cannot come here physically to be in contact with us, with Guruji, and to receive his message.
Yeah.
So mostly I take care of that on Facebook.
Yeah, and it's always fresh. It's like I signed up for Sahaja Express, and I'm able to get these on like spontaneous satsangs that he has just with the beings here at Sahaja. All of a sudden there's a satsang, and that gets uploaded to YouTube, and I get an email about that being available now, and I get to see a video that was like 2 days ago.
So
It's so
immediate,
beautiful. Yeah, and
yes.
it's just that. Are you part of that also, the Sahaja Express?
No, not so much.
Okay. So there's another team then. There's a team, a video team.
Yes, there's another team for that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the Facebook venue and the part that you play in doing the quotes that are very fresh and the photographs, that's very helpful, I think.
Very.
I think it's very helpful for people that can't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also that what's also beautiful is that Mooji is very much involved in the Facebook quotes. He himself, whenever I am physically in Sahaja, he himself gets to look at it. If I'm not here, he will get the quote by email and check it that it really is what he said, that it conveys really what he said. It's so beautiful to have the living master himself, really checking that what's going out is really what he said also.
Yes.
This was also very, very interesting, because in the beginning, I remember many times he would call and say, listen, that's not what I said. And I would say, but I listened to the recording, I listened to the recording. It is what you said. And he said, you check, listen again. And I would really, really see that I was hearing it differently than what he was actually saying.
Nice.
And very often he speaks about that also in satsang. And says, you may think you're listening, but are you really listening, And many times he actually caught things not being written down how he said it, or even edited. You put it the way you thought you heard it. And so things get maybe misdelivered, also.
Yes.
And so it is very beautiful that he is so present with the quotes and with what really is being shared publicly.
Yes.
That it is true. It's really, really authentic and true.
Well, you know what, you shared that with me yesterday. I did not know that. And I did not know that Mooji was personally involved in the essence of the quote that goes out, being the essence of what he was pointing to. And that really was impressive to me, because in my mind, in my experience, I'm going to be paying closer attention to those quotes, knowing that they are the signature of Mooji himself.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yes. Very much.
So you guys that are listening to the show or seeing this on video, it's just know that Mooji he's behind these quotes. These are fresh from his fingertip.
Yeah,
from his hand.
Yeah, sometimes he's looking at it just minutes before it is being posted, just really looking again that it is all proper. And
oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I really noticed and love. I've noticed from Mooji, from being here at Sahaja since the first time I came, is that Mooji has been involved in the design of every little piece of Sahaja, the quiet areas, the meditation areas, the living space, the kitchen,
everything.
the contemplation areas. Every single thing has his signature, not because he is a micromanager. It's because it's the movement of Mooji. If you could see him on the land, he goes into a space and it's like the Christ consciousness is speaking through this body called Mooji.
Yes.
And everything has this feeling about it. When it gets put together, you don't quite understand or know. I mean, you couldn't couldn't learn in a university the skills that have built Manta Sahaja.
No.
You've never seen anything like it in your world.
No.
And I was a general contractor for 35 years. I worked with some of the best leading architects in the world, and of all different cultures. And I have never seen anyone that has the design, creative design element, and also know how to describe it. And I mean, as Mooji does.
Yeah, it's like you can get the greatest architects of the whole world together, and they cannot build a place like Buddha can.
No.
No.
It's amazing. I remember when I was here back when I first came in 2011, and he would take layers of rocks, these big, huge stones, and all of a sudden he has us digging holes and standing these rocks on straight up and down on end. And the next time you look at this space, it's this beautiful area where trees go, or plants, or a bench, or a water garden, or even looking at on the screen here and seeing this backdrop. This is just amazing. his creative element. And I feel that he, just as we were both, I met Mooji in London in 2011, and things happened where I was drawn to him from his videos. Like I said, things happened where I met him. I fell in love with Mooji immediately. I thought, who is this? This is not a person. You look in his eyes and you knew this was not a person.
Exactly.
You didn't, I didn't know it intellectually, but I had this feeling to come and be with this person. At the time with Mooji, I said, Mooji, I'd love to come to Sahaja. He said, come. And I packed my bags. I was here 2 months later for 3 months and living in a tent right over here. Oh, our video battery's gone, so we're off video. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But I had that same experience of meeting him, and just his presence pulled me in and wanted me to know more, to be with this one called Mooji. And once you come here, you just want to stay here. You want to continue to have the experience of that so many beings come here and learn the freedom. They find liberation.
Yeah, it's like the only thing you've ever really looked for.
Yeah.
Is when you look into his eyes, when you're in his presence, you know that is it. And your being won't rest until you yourself come into the experience of what he is.
Yeah. Which is what you are. What you see in him is what is really you. And this is what is. I'm a Course in Miracles student and teacher, and it was seeing what the Course in Miracles points to in Mooji that let me see it with my own eyes, that it's possible to have it's possible. If he has it, I can have it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not until we meet the living embodiment of truth that we really see it as possible, no?
Yes.
And also to be with someone who keeps telling you that it is possible, and who keeps encouraging you, and won't accept any excuses, and won't accept you for who you're not, and who will push you into your higher state.
Yeah.
And who in the world really does that, no?
Yeah. Yeah. it starts with a desire. You have a desire to, and you don't maybe know what it is. You don't really know what is this desire that I have that wants to know more, or that wants to not know more things, but what is this desire that is calling us to a being called Muji? That desire is a little memory, is an old memory that we forgot. And we might first find a glimpse of it on a video with Muji, and something goes, what was that? What was that? What's he have?
Yes.
What is that? And then when you meet him, I mean, you don't even have to meet him in person. You meet him, and I've talked to many beings here at Sahaja that met him first on video, on YouTube, that were drawn to him, and they are given a glimpse of the Christ in Muji, and then they want to come and see him in person. And of course, when you see him in person, everything changes. It's a game changer. It was a game changer for me when I met him in 2011, and when I left here, I'll never be the same. When I left here in Sahaja in 2012, I knew I'd met an embodiment of the Christ, like Jesus.
Yes.
Just like Jesus. I thought when I was here the first time, and I would watch Muji teach, I would watch him sit or stand, all of a sudden he would start speaking of truth and the pointing of the self. And I would say, this had to be what it was like to be with Jesus.
Yeah. And I feel another really good indicator that you really are in the presence of such a being is that it transforms those around him.
Yes.
You very often you notice just everything changes around them. There's an it's almost like there's like this presence, and whoever is in that field is just simply transformed by such a being, no?
Yeah.
And he does not even have to speak. And you simply begin to, your being responds, no? Energetically you begin to change.
Yeah. I was reading in one of Ramana's books that one of his disciples was asking him some questions, and he mentioned that being in the mere presence of a sage will have an effect on the being that is near him or her.
Yes.
Yeah.
They even I've heard somewhere that it is the greatest gift from God is a guru, is the presence of a yani, and you can perform all sorts of sadhanas, you can do rituals, you can do everything you want. Nothing is like the mere presence of a wise being of the Christ, no?
Yes. Yeah.
And that itself will takes care of everything. If you have a true guru, then he will swim you across if you are willing to, no?
Yeah.
If you have an open heart, if you are receptive and open and willing, it is him who takes care of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's not doing anything. He's just being. He is being. He actually is not a doing at all. It's a being in presence. And it's a reminder to you of what you are.
Yes.
It's beautiful. The Course in Miracles has a section in it also that says, a teacher of God, different kind of language, and it's a different culture of speaking to enlightenment or awakening. But it says the mere presence of a teacher of God or an enlightened one will have an effect on those that are around him or her.
Yeah.
So it's a different teaching saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it destroys your mind, really,
Yeah.
and leaves you in a completely different space within yourself, you know?
Yes. Yes. What I liked about what I always liked about Mooji is that he's always pointing you to your true self. He's never pointing you to himself. He's always pointing you to what he knows that you are. He's always pointing you because he sees you as you are. He doesn't see you how you think you are. He sees you how he knows you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear him pointing you to that same truth.
Mm. Yes. Also by rejecting who you're not constantly, you know?
Yeah.
It is also a beautiful way of what he does, is like he keeps on addressing who you really are and rejecting who you are not. And so you, as I said in the beginning, you come to flower more and more into what he knows you to be.
Mm-hmm. So what is your, what do you think is your highest or your most valuable experience of living here at Sahaja? We have maybe 5 minutes left on the show. So tell me what you think is the highest experience that you have to be here.
Well, the highest experience, I would say, is that I don't know if there's something higher than coming to truly experience your natural contentment, your freedom, your spirit self. No?
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything higher than coming to experience that.
Yeah. So you would say, and you tell me
that,
if you want to use different words, you have found what you have always been looking for?
Yes.
Yes. Even before you knew that you were looking?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not looking anymore?
No.
Nothing to look for?
No.
Yeah.
You've finally come to rest. No?
Yeah.
Your being is finally resting.
Yeah. And as a disciple, devotee, beloved one, and one that knows Mooji very closely, what would you say to the beings that are listening right now that would like to have what you have found? What would you share with them?
I would simply say that if it is your desire to find freedom, true freedom, then don't reach for anything at all in this world, only to the Guru, really. Only have your Guruji in mind and listen over and over to what he's got to say, even if resistance comes up or doubt comes up, listen even more. And disappear right there at his feet, and like he himself says, to live at your master's feet is to live on top of the world. Huh?
Nice. Yeah.
So I feel then just go and live at the feet of your Guru.
Yeah, that's great. Well, this has been a great talk, a great show. pure presence. And that's what we're talking about, really, pure presence. Pure presence. The Christ that you are. The Christ that Mooji is, the Christ that the listener is. You are the Christ. You are the self that Mooji's pointing to. And I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's been great.
Thank you, Rishi.
It's been my honor. This is Pure Presence, the power of being free. And I'm so grateful for Darshana for being on the show. This is Unity Online Radio, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.